everybody, and welcome to episode 91 of the Let's Play world. I've been thinking a lot about this Potion Brewing Magic Academy project here, and I have some ideas. So I've been playing a little bit, and what I initially imagined was we would have a brewing stand, and then we would push a button, and the ingredients would get fed in here, and it would brew the potions, and we would get it. But now what I'm thinking is what we could do is we could have a bunch of brewing stands that are each making one of the different types of potions. And then when we push the button, it'll just dispense them to us. So we can have the hopper locked here, and then when I push the button for like fire protection, that particular brewing stand will just dump those out and then make more. And that way we don't have to wait for the potions to brew, we can just come over and grab them. So after some more experimenting and playing around, I realized that the top hopper is where you put in your ingredients for the potions. And either side hopper will take bottles and blaze powder. So for example, here if I put a bottle in, you'll see it ends up in the brewing stand. Or if I put a bottle in here, it'll end up in the brewing stand. So you can use actually a single hopper for both if you want. What we're going to do is we're going to have a hopper line here for bottles and one here for blaze powder. And then up here is where we will have the ingredients, and we'll have a second floor up here that we can visit just to fill the ingredients for each of the potions that are going to be in this row here. And just as a high level kind of thing, this will be our front door, and we will walk in and we will have all these different buttons, and when I push one of these buttons, the potion that we want will get spit out at us. Now, as far as the building goes, you can see I have a lot of netherrack bricks laid out, and what this is denoting is kind of the shape of the building. So I had said here I wanted there to be a diagonal building. So this will be the front of the building, this will be the wall down the side, and this will be the wall down the other side, and that building will be basically 45 degrees to everything else. And then we will have a diagonal wall that will come off of it here, and that will crash into our square building that we have here. So it'll kind of be a really organic and interesting looking building. The other thing I realized that I want to do is I want to take some cues from our original base. If you've been following along on the channel, you remember that I originally wanted this to look like an old ruin that we built a modern structure on top of. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to basically have kind of a medieval ruined structure, but like the potion brewing part is going to look really modern. And then this diagonal building, we might preserve some of that old architecture there. So it's going to be a really stark mix of old and new here. I also made some realizations about the zoo. So far, we've been working biome by biome. So we started with the cave mobs, then we did the forest mobs, then the ocean mobs, and now we've started to lay out the plains mobs. I want to pause on that, and instead, I just want to lay out the entire infrastructure of the zoo. I want to do all of the paths, I want to lay out the exhibits, and then we can start moving the mobs in. I just think it'll be a lot more interesting that way, and we can also pace it out a little more deliberately. You know, if we want to move some of the plains mobs, or we want to grab a hostile mob, we can kind of mix it up. Or if we happen to stumble across a mob as, you know, just an opportunity, we can just take it rather than having to wait for that biome to come up. So that's my plan with the zoo. So first things first, I want to get some work done on our potion brewing system. Boy, oh boy, redstone is a heck of a thing. So I did a ton of experimenting, and I ended up coming up with a system that looks kind of like this. So I've got my brewing stand here, it's all loaded up with potions, and it brews up, and then when I push this button, it'll release these brewed up potions, dispense some more ingredients, and brew up a second batch. So I can kind of get potions whenever I want them. And it worked okay. So I built the whole system, and then found the timing wasn't exactly right, so I rebuilt it. And then I was finding that some of the redstone was interacting with some of the hoppers and not working exactly right. So I rebuilt it again. And then I found a much simpler solution. I discovered somebody created a system that looks like this that does exactly the same thing. So there is a brewing stand back here that has brewed up some potions. When you push this button, they are dispensed through this hopper into this barrel. And then on the back side, there's a torch. And when the torch kicks back on, it causes these droppers to fire off, brewing another set of potions. So this tiny little redstone here does exactly the same thing as this redstone here. This design is 3 blocks wide, so instead of 10 potions, I'll probably only do 5 or 6. I'm thinking night vision, fire resistance, water breathing, healing, regeneration, and maybe strength. You know, that's the crazy thing about redstone, is there is probably somebody out there who has already solved the problem that you're looking for a solution to. And there we have our 6 brewing stations. So each of these has a different potion. This one's night vision, this one is fire resistance, this one is water breathing, etc. In front here we've got some bottles, and then back there is the brewing stand. And as you can see, it's already brewed up and kind of ready to go. And when I push this button, there's nothing in here now, but what will happen is those will get dispensed down here, so I have potions. And then if we run around back, the nether wart gets dispensed, followed by the golden carrot, and finally redstone as our modifier. And now we'll have another batch of potions ready to go when we come over here and push the button again. So they all seem to work, which is great. The only bummer here is this is originally where I kind of wanted the room to end. And as you can see, it's a little bit wider than I had originally anticipated. So it's going to eat into our diagonal tunnel a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to necessarily break anything. Yeah, this room I had imagined would be this deep, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, so we can adjust some of this as we start building. This whole facade here needs to be kind of covered up, and we need to label everything. There's still quite a lot of work to do, but at least we have a functional potion brewing station. And I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.